Alright guys, round 4, it's the winning in matchup. The winner of this match heads to the top 8. The loser more than likely doesn't, especially if it's a Jeremy. Jeremy on 2 wins and a loss, playing Boros Aggro, starting off with a turn 1 Soldier of the Pantheon. Just how he drew it up, his opponent is Justin Carpenter, who picked up an unintentional draw last round against Jonathan Wright, basically pulling the draw from the jaws of defeat to win the game 2 as time expired in the round. So he's 2-0-1, playing a Naya Midrange deck. Normally Justin plays Gruul midrange, basically a Storm Breath Dragon Gruul deck, not necessarily the Colossal Gruul big version that we see Alec Myers and Nick Reed play week in and week out. But Justin has Boros Charms in this deck, so it's Naya midrange of sorts. So Justin on a turn 1 Mana Dork into a turn 2 Caryatid. And Jeremy missing a turn 2 play, but after scrying with a Temple, plays a turn 3 Precinct Captain, but can't force through any damage with his Soldier through the Caryatid's defense. So 4 mana, this is going to be a Pelucranos, a Xenagos, one of those things. It's the former. So a big old 5/5 creature shows up and potentially could wreck Jeremy's board. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So next turn he does have the ability to do 2 damage courtesy of Pelucranos' fight ability. Of course, Jeremy is a Boros Charm deck, so that might not be as effective as it might otherwise be. So there's a Boros Elite, and then Jeremy just passing back. He does have Charm up here, which seems like the play that you would, seems like what you would want to have in this situation, as you've otherwise just thrown that Boros Elite right into the Pelucranos activation. So let's see if Justin goes for it pre-combat there. Either way, Pelucranos is still going to be a 7/7, but may not actually bend those creatures. So there is a Domri. So Domri gonna fight something here. As expected, there's Boros Charm. Make all of my team indestructible. So no dice on the Domri activation. So Jeremy's still up against it here, facing down a wall he can't get through, 5/5 he can't get through. A potential, having already burned a Boros Charm, facing down a potential Pelucranos activation, which threatens to wipe his team as well. There's a Dryad Militant. correcting life totals because of the Domri being cast. Yes, they missed that trigger, but it's also FNM, so no one cares if we back it up. Question in the chat, is Dave Brown still going strong? He is. Dave Brown's actually in a winning in here. He's playing against Jordan Pecchio's Boros Aggro deck, which is a horrible matchup for him. That's why I didn't put it on camera, because I didn't want to watch Dave get beat yet again. But he's still drawing live here. Playing some kind of nonsense out there. There's a Storm Breath Dragon. So Justin, playing at a very deliberate pace here, decides to play 4/4 Hasty Flyer. At some point, probably going to want to start attacking. Remember, Jeremy is a Brave the Elements deck, so at some point he can just pro-green and swing with the team, which right now represents 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 points of damage. But Justin not attacking with the Storm Breath, so that will at least leave him one blocker. And there is Najani. So we can jump if we wanted to, instead to make the Precinct Captain 3 power for Striker. Still don't really have any good attacks here. Now this Plukernos activation could be pretty devastating here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Still got 5 mana, so still only good for 2. We're going to shock ourselves down to 16. Six mana for Rurikthar. Misium Mortars. Good grief. Well, this one's over. Serve in for 9 here with my 2 big boys. Effectively cutting Jeremy's life total in half. Going to be nearly impossible for Jeremy to come back from this one. And really all it took was that Sylvan Caryatid to really slow this game down. There's a soldier. There's a precinct. So replacing part of our team here, but still a pretty rough spot to be in. So we're 1 mana away from monstrosing the dragon, I think. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we're 1 land away from being able to take out. Well, no, because of the counter, we can't do that. So that land would have been enough to Plukernos fight the whole team, but the Johnny counter is going to save. But this is inevitable. Not really a game to be played at this point, just awkwardly waiting for Justin to kill Jeremy. So fighting here. So doing 2 damage to the precinct captain. Use Domri to fight something. Storm Breath on that guy. Serve in for lethal damage. No, it's not lethal. It's 11 when we attack with our elf and kill him. Just kill him with the elf. There we go. We got there. Praise be. I didn't want to have to sit through even one more turn of that game. I have like no tolerance at this point. I need a drink. Alright. Game 2 in our winning in round 4 match. Justin winning game 1 basically off the back of an overloaded Mizzy Mortars. Yes, he ended up fighting Pro Multicolor guy with Domri at the end, but sequencing, if you just sequenced that differently, would have won. It was inevitable anyway, so don't send me a YouTube comment about it, because I do not care. Game 2, Jeremy leads off with a shock land into a Boros Elite. And Justin likely going to play a Mana Dork, which he does. Jeremy doing a lot of damage to himself, already down to 16 off 2 shock lands. There's a precinct captain. And we're going to serve in with the Boros Elite. Jeremy willing to trade the Mana Dork for the aggro 1-drop, but Justin unwilling to do that. We're going to see a turn 2 Domri possibly. Nope, Temple of Evanded. Means we're on 2 lands, but if we can mimic game 1 exactly by playing a Sylvan Caryatid here. And that's exactly what we do, so Jeremy's aggro plan stymied yet again by the 0-3 wall. 3 mana for Banisher Priest on Elvish Mystic. First try to Caryatid, but can't do that because of Hexproof. Serving with the team, and the Boros Elite gets in to put Justin down to 16 here. These Gruul decks lean pretty heavily on the Mana Dorks. Don't play nearly as many lands as they should to cast their high end, relying on Mana Dorks and Nykthos activations to get there. So if you can keep them off their Mana Dorks, you can potentially keep them off of their high end cards. So serving with the team here, triggering Battalion. Boros Elite is now a 3-3. So, looks like probably going to take 3 here, block the captain and the priest. And then, hopefully cast a 4-drop next turn. Question in the chat what the dinging sound is. That's my cell phone, which I mistakenly laid next to the microphone, because I don't know if you guys have put this together or not. Hey, there it is again. But this week, not necessarily as high and tight as I usually am on my commentary duties. Enjoying the delicious taste of a nice bottled Sunkist, which I recently purchased in between games from the store counter. It's wonderful. Just the pick-me-up I needed. Also, I'm exhausted. And also, I'm judging the pre-release that starts at midnight. So it's going to be a miserable next, I don't know, about 6 hours. What's going on here? Captain got in. Make a soldier. Boop-a-doop. There, I turned the sound off. Got it. Well, let's get back to this. What is proving to be the most exciting game ever recorded in the modern history of mankind. Justin's got 5 mana. What's he going to do with it? Nobody knows. A variety of options at his disposal. Question in the chat, how did the captain get in? Because Justin didn't block it. That's why. He just took the 7. I guess suspecting some kind of shenanigans. Possibly losing his Caryatid. But I'm not sure that there are any shenanigans in Jeremy's deck that pump his creatures at instant speed. Question in the chat, I'm streaming the pre-release. I think I'm going to leave the camera up. Garrett said he wanted to come in here and do commentary. So he might. There will at least be some coverage on the internet. Alright, so we didn't do anything at all. Boros Guildgate. Lands at this point a complete blank for Jeremy. Has nothing in his deck, costs more than 3 to cast. We're serving him with the team again. Triggering Battalion. So that Boros leads 3-3 once again. Ugh, like heartburn or something. Hey-oh, Advent of the Worm. Advent of the Worm. There's the white splash. We knew he had Boros Charms, so I guess he has Advent of the Worms as well. He just passed it. Literally just passed it. Just passed it. It was there at the front. Oh, there it is. Oh, it's a Rhino. Just use the Rhino. Just use the Rhino. Come on. Just use... Why don't we use up, down, side down card instead of the Rhino? It's un-American. Alright, so now we can block the Banisher Priest to get back our mana guy. We're going to take 1, 2, so 1, 2, 3, 4 is getting through here. Let's see if Jeremy loads up a Boros Charm to save his dude. Yup, that's what he does. So for you, save my guy. You don't get your mana dork back. So you're still 1 mana off overloading mortars. So if Jeremy has another Boros Charm or Brave the Elements in his hand, sitting pretty good here. Otherwise, a 6 land and a Mortars will wreck his board. I believe that's the custom elemental token that Rick Pittman made for us. Normally used for voice, but we'll allow it to be used for Advent token. Because why the heck not? 3 mana coming up. Domri. Domri inbound. Domri inbound. Fight Banisher Priest with Advent token. Get back my thing. Stabilize. So Justin's at 5, which is very important against the Boros Charm deck. No reasonable way Jeremy can get damage through here. Let's see, if we draw... Yeah, if we draw into Johnny, we win. We can jump and double strike the Precinct Captain. Oh no, it's jump and double strike, not +1/+1 and double strike. There's another elf. Jeremy just struggling. Brave the Elements wins here. Pro green the team and get there. Jeremy with 3 cards in hand, none of which seem to be incredibly relevant. I would imagine if it was Brave the Elements, we would have windmill slammed it, as the kids say. Johnny effectively puts Justin at 1. Blind Obedience is pretty good here. Slows down dragons, and Miscutter's not coming in here, but also gives Jeremy the potential to direct damage for the win. There's an Johnny. Jump our precinct captain, almost certainly jumping our precinct captain. Attack. Trigger. Trigger again. Make 2 soldiers. Put Justin down to 1. So we're drawing live here. Now all Jeremy needs is a spell next turn. And he can extort Justin for the last life point. Oh, that is a good point. You just jump the Boros Elite and then sacrifice your team, and then it gets in for 6. Yikes. I'd like to think I missed that because I'm not familiar with the deck so much. I really don't care about the outcome of this match. And I've been playing on my phone for most of this off camera. But, I still missed it. And that's my fault, and I'm going to have to live with that for the rest of my life. I'm not sure I can ever come back from that. Is there even any point in going on? Two mana, do something. Cast another Caryatid. That's really going to influence the game a whole hill of beans. It literally doesn't matter. You have to gain, like, if you have, like, Nalia's Emissary here, you gain 1 billion life. That's good. Caryatid. Caryatid. Elvish Mystic. They come into play tapped. Doesn't matter. Serve back. Play a spell. Extort it. Win. Soldier, extort, holla at your boy. That's good. Head home and milk the cattle. Jeremy Bales equalizes in our round 4 feature match. Gets there in game 2, misses onboard kill, but cleans up the mess with Blind Obedience the turn after. Joseph Carpenter plays 1 billion mana dorks, doesn't do anything else. And succumbs to Boros Beatdown. So we move to a decider. I moved to my sun-kissed orange drink for another refreshment. That's good stuff right there. I don't really like it. I just didn't want Splinter Twin in there anymore.
I hear you.
I really like Splinter Twin if like there wasn't
You just slowly are sinking down in your seat to the point where you're almost on the floor.
Aaron, at this stage in the game at 10:03 on a Friday night, I'm laid back with my mind on my money, my money on my mind. We've now reached the money on my mind portion of the stream.
Now, I don't see any gin or juice, but there is a cool frosty Sunkist.
Well, that's probably got 0% juice in it. Let's go ahead and check that. Carbonated water, check. High fructose corn syrup, love it. Citric acid.
Diabetes.
Cat piss. Modified food starch. Ester gum. That sounds like a... Ester gum sounds like a character in The Great Gatsby.
I'm gonna come back and bother you later. I've promised someone some Commander.
Alright. Enjoy.
Oh, I shall. Okay, bye.
So game 3 has started. Justin has not played a card yet. He has scryed twice, allowing Jeremy to connect with the Soldiered Pantheon. These Boros elites really suffer from the lack of haste creatures in this deck. It's not like they exist, and Jeremy's not just playing them. It's just very frustrating. That's why Legion Loyalist is so good in the Blitz deck, and why in the old mono red decks the Lightning Mauler chain was so great, because you could just immediately turn on Battalion, Fire Fist Strikers, Legion Loyalists. Anger of the Gods is going to be good enough to clean out the current board states. But Jeremy does have his Blind Obedience online. Of course, he has missed several land drops. But incrementally, Blind Obedience will allow him to get some work done against Justin. Death by 1,000 cuts or so. Sacred Foundry. I mean, we can cast pretty much everything in our deck here except Overloaded Mortars, which is irrelevant. Justin has changed his deck contents drastically since last week. This is not the same cruel mid-range deck he normally pilots, so I have no idea what his numbers are like. Precinct Captain connects make a soldier token, very important because we follow that up with a Daring Skyjack. Here is an end of turn Advent of the Worm. It does come into play tapped because of Blind Obedience, but since it's EOT, it basically comes into play untapped here. Well, we've found our 6 mana, we can overload those mortars. Anger again. So Justin is drawing his entire sideboard here. There's a Smiter, and then serve in for 5 with the Advent token. So Jeremy, probably going to lose this one. It's going to be difficult to come back from this. Banisher Priest, well, that'll change things. The token just, there we go. Token just going to die. So, pretty good answer to the Advent token. Still facing down Lockstone Spider. Justin with just 2 cards in his hand. He has flipped out a little bit here, but he can't complain too much about his draw. Had an Advent against the Blind Obedience and 2 Anger of the Gods. Banisher Priest is going to jumpity jump on the old Lockstone Smiter. 3 mana for a Daring Skyjack. Go ahead and extort. Put Jeremy up to 16. And Justin down to 12. Uh-oh. 5 mana. Dragon. Blind Obedience makes it somewhat less effective. Serve it for 4 with the Elephant. And just pass the turn back with 1 card in hand. Not sure what it is, but doesn't seem to be relevant at all. So what are our best draws here? And a Johnny will get in for 6. Daring Skyjack. Extort. Down to 11. Serve him for 3. Put Justin down to 8. The attack back will be for... Oh, we just win on Monstrous here, don't we? Go Monstrous. Deal 3 damage to Jeremy. Put him at 10. Serve in with a giant-ass dragon. It's not going to be good enough, but close. What to do with this dragon and this elephant with the giant hammer? The Dragon shoots lightning out of its mouth. That's scary. Hey-oh. Overload these mortars. What in the world are we thinking about? That's the question. In what world do we need to consider our options? Apparently this one. So, get you. 4-8. Jeremy drops down to 5. Dead on board. Don't think there's a card in this deck he can draw. Banisher Priest. One Lockstone Smiter. So as long as Justin remembers to activate Monstrous. Monstrous is 7 on the Storm Breath, correct? That'll do it too. That'll do it, Deuce. Monstrous would have worked as well, but Chandra, Pingu, guy can't block. Exactly 5. Jeremy, I think, pointing out that he could have got him that way. Doesn't matter. Hey! I'm sitting low in my chair. Not unlike an 8-year-old child whose mom took him to the beauty salon while she's getting her hair done, and he got bored. Boom! Quarterfinals coming up. Remember, a lot on the lines tonight. Winner heads to our year-end FNM championship and gets double the prize payout. So I'm going to go expedite the turning in of